It is the victory moment with CK. Join the show as we chat victory in the midst of the uncertainty in life, because each day can be a victory moment if you don't quit, if you don't give up, and if you don't let go. Well, good afternoon, good morning, and hello, and welcome to the Victory Moment with CK. I thank you, those that are joining, and welcome you to the Victory Moment with CK. I am CK, and guess what? We're going to chat today. Seasons come and go. Well, hello again and welcome. Listen, I thought about it today and I was thinking about it for the past few days. We have four different seasons that we go through in our general life. We have what we call spring, summer, winter, and fall. And everyone can tell the difference. And when these seasons come in, there are certain areas that go through different seasons differently and all of that. And then I said, wow, in life we just go through seasons, and it's important to understand that no matter, in life we're going to go through seasons. And it is how we respond to the season. It is how we handle the season. It is how we don't allow it to change, to as we allow it to make us better, as we allow it to make us wiser, as we allow it to bring something different in our lives. So I want to talk about a few things as I talk about change, seasons and the changes when it comes to seasons. And it is not to be fought, but it is to be embraced. That's how I say it. So the first thing I want to talk about today, as I encourage and I'm gonna share some things at the towards the end, you know, as I thank the BAC network, media network, for their awesomeness and all that that's transpiring and new things as the seasons are going to change. So seasons always brings change, whether we realize it, whether we're uncomfortable with it, whether we don't like it. But season always brings what we call change. And change is to, it's not to be afraid of. Change is to embrace, because of what what it signifies. And we may not always be comfortable with change, but one of the things we have to realize is change is inevitable. There is, no matter how much you try to stop it, fight it, it's inevitable. So in each season, if you notice, there is a change in each season. as I use summer, winter, and fall. In the summer, we get a brightness, a different level of um just a different level of the climate, where it is so warm and inviting. It is so warm, and sometimes the warmth can be uncomfortable because of the heat. But guess what? We Everybody doesn't always love the summer, but we embrace the summer because we can, there again, a lot of people have time off from work. There's some different changes that happen when the summer comes around. Then when it comes to fall, like I said, it brings a change. We see leaves coming on leaves falling off the trees and all of those things. And I'm just saying this because there is changes in the different seasons. And then we see, it starts to get a little cooler. And then in winter, we actually see a big change. Those of us that have winter in our states and in our country, we see snow, we see, a big decrease in coldness, in the atmosphere. It's no longer warm. Now it's hot, now it's cold. And I'm sharing these things because I'm talking about that what the seasons bring change. And that's what happens when you are going through different seasons. The word of God tells us, as we were a child, we did things as a child, but as we got mature, we put away what? Childish things, because we tend to get a little mature. We tend to grow and learn things as we're maturing. Like a child, when they at first cannot walk, but then when the season is changing, because the child is maturing or growing, the child starts to walk. The child starts to say certain little words like mama, dada, and things of that sort. And I'm saying this because I want to go into the second part, because yes, it always, seasons brings changes. Sometime again, it's not always comfortable, but one of the things, seasons change. But what happens is, you can't change seasons as they change. But what you can change, and this is my second thought, is how you change with the season, how you handle the season, the change in the season, how you handle each season change, you know, and that makes a difference in what happens in each season. Because we get a season of ups, we get a seasons of downs. Do you really think it's always going to be down? No. But part of those seasons being down is to help us to grow, to help us to mature, to help us to be able to handle something. If you never go through anything, and you never go through changes, and you never go through the experience of a season, you won't know your strength. You gain strength through understanding the changes of the season and going through the ups and downs of life. You go through the experience of growing. You go through the experience, if you're connected to God in a relationship, you learn of how God can heal, how God can deliver. And I have to put that in. And then the next thing I'm going to talk about, and I have 5 things of thoughts today, because we've got to realize that life is going to be full of seasons, whether it be good time, bad times, things just things being going going through different things. And I remember when went through a major season change in my life, from working to not working to, from one circumstance to another. It is just part of life, and it's how you handle the main part is how you handle the season, how you handle the discomfort, how you handle what you don't have, what you don't have control of for all of us. And that was when we had to deal with COVID. It was the biggest season change. It was the biggest challenge I think that we've ever had in our lives. Those of us that that are much younger, those of us that have never went through anything like that. But what it was it brought us to different understanding. It brought us to a different knowledge, even of who we are. And that's where I'm about to go when I go to number 4. Seasons change, and so do we. Whether we realize it or not, through the midst of everything that's happening, through the midst of everything that's going on, we change, we experience. And no matter what, whether we change for the better or we allow it to stop our growth, there's still something happening in the midst of that season. And I just wanted to share that because I realized we fight seasons a lot of times because we don't understand what's happening, because the season is a little, like, sometimes winter can really be rough, especially when it snows. And that's the same thing. Certain seasons can really be rough when it's unexpected. But how do you handle these seasons? You take it one day at a time. You take it one moment at a time. You take it and you experience by saying, well, what can I do? You know, even with our each quarter, there are changes. And it's up to you to not just hold on to what we will call things of yesterday, but learn from yesterday, grow from yesterday. And we are constantly saying this, but it is necessary so that you don't get stuck. So that means you're taking what's happening in the different seasons and, like, hey, guess what? This happened yesterday, but this is what I can do to make it better. This happened, so I'm learning. I'm learning how to take care of me better. I'm learning how I actually respond to the different seasons, because now I'm seeing myself and understanding what is going on. And that's why, with all you're getting, get understanding what is going on in this season, and then take it one day at a time. Take it one moment at a time. Embrace the season so that you can see how you can better maneuver in the season. And that's what I wanted to share today. And I want to talk about the final thing. Don't try to stretch a season. Their seasons come and go, and you have to let go and know when the season also is changing. And that comes through, again, understanding the seasons of life, understanding the seasons. Like, I expect certain things in spring, because as we spring forward, I know there are certain things that's going to be happening in the season. As we deal with winter, I already know I'm have to get a coat, because in New York, we have snow. We have snow normally, but normally depending on the temperature, we have you know temperature that's whoa, that can be very cold. And then sometimes we have uncertainty with the temperature, even in the wintertime. But we know already we're going to be putting on a jacket. We're going to be putting on warmer things. Now we're in summer, and as you can see, we're geared up for summer, where we put on sleeveless things that are not so overwhelming on our, to cover up, because we're in a different season. And I wanted to share this today, because we've got to understand, as we move forward, it's important to understand that seasons come and go. They're going to change, they're going to shift. Even when we deal with winter, spring, summer, and fall, for those of us that have all four seasons, every season is not always the same. Sometimes one winter we barely had snow. Another winter we had snow every moment. And this is why I'm saying and sharing this, because that's just how life is. And one of the things I realize, it's who you have in your life that makes the season different too. Because when you embrace certain things and not and let go of things that don't serve its purpose in your life, it makes the season different. When you take time to to learn more about you in each season, it makes the season different, because now it's your response to the uncertainty. It's your response to how things change. I remember certain things, I was kind of upset because certain things happened. And then I realized it was working out for my good, even when I did not understand. It was working out for my good, even when it was difficult to realize that I had no control. And when you have no control over something, how do you take care of it? How do you handle it? You handle it by seeing the best way to deal with it. And the best way to deal with situations of uncertainty is not getting angry, it's not getting upset, but seeing how you can really maneuver in it. It is taking time to evaluate. And that's the major thing that you can do: evaluate. So seasons always bring changes. As I bring everything in, seasons change, but it's it, you know, but you can change how you handle each season. How do you handle each season? And seasons change, and guess what? We do. Daily there's something that we realize, or something that we experience, that brings a change, whether it's a positive change or a negative change. See, we don't want to talk about that, but that's basically what it is. And the bottom line, in the end of it all, don't try to stretch a season. Don't try to make winter longer than it is. Don't keep wallowing in circumstances that you had no control over. But what does that song say? I rise up. Yet again, I rise. Because it's so important to keep rising in the midst of each circumstance and change. So this, this was so enlightening to me. Like, there's certain things we know and we understand, but this is what the CK and Victory Moment is about. Because victory comes as you understand that seasons come and go. Victory can be every day when you don't allow the season change to distract the purpose and plan. So I am done. I thank you for those of you that experience, that desire, that know and realize that change is inevitable. Change is going to come, and it's going to come, and it's going to see, and seasons are going to come and go, but it is always how you handle the uncertainty. It's always how you make the difference in your actions. It's always positive. See it in a positive light. See it in a positive light that you can keep going so that you don't get hindered in the best that's yet to come. So, again, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, CarmenKing.ck. Don't forget to follow me on social media. Don't forget to click and download BHC Media Network. BHC Media Network is amazing with all the content, and one of the great things that I love is it has this session called Mind, basically Mindset Matters, or you're talking about the mind, and it has so much to, for you. So it's about elevating and connecting. And the more you connect and you go to those next levels, your experience changes and how you handle things change. So again, thank you for connecting in advance. Again, don't forget to click that like and share button. Share with someone that needs to know that that their season where they're at is not always. But it's not where you're at, it's where you're going. You have to put that in your mindset. You have to put that and have that as your attitude. So again, download the BHC Media Network. Catch us on Roku and Apple TV and Fire, Fire TV. Connect with us, and we share, and we empower, and we encourage. That's what it's about. Making a difference. So I thank you again for taking time to connect with me. I thank you again for taking time for joining me on on again the Victory Moment with CK. And again, do not know and remember, seasons come and go, but it's always the attitude, how you do what you do in response, that makes the difference in each season, that change in the season change. Look forward to seeing you and connecting with you on my next episode of the Victory Moment with CK.